Ladies and gentlemen, if I might, I'd like to just announce that we have, in fact, had a meeting that was composed of the individuals who were here. And I think there's a consensus of those who were in that meeting, and that is that with respect to the problems that exist at Bankhead Courts, number one, it is a problem that is elsewhere in the city as well. But number two, that we need to, as a city, deal with the law enforcement problems. So what we have done, in essence, is given our support as a group of individuals representing the city, representing the community, to the police to do their job in terms of law enforcement, to continue to do their job, and to step it up where needed. The police have our full support. They've had it. I don't think we've been forthcoming enough in terms of publicly announcing that. And we're doing that today. This committee intends to continue to look at the problem in Bankhead Courts as well as other communities within the city of Atlanta. Not only to deal with the law enforcement, again, but to deal with the human side of it as well. So there's a consensus amongst us. And that's basically the end of my statement. And if the mayor, I'd like to bring on the mayor and for any statement that he may have.
Why don't we just take questions, and I'll be glad to answer the question.
Share the mic.
Sure.
When you say you're going to step up whatever it is that you do in these cases, what does that mean?
What I said, basically speaking, is that the police department is already involved there with the horse patrol, the motorcycle squad, the helicopter squad, the detectives, the conventional units, and anything else they need to do there with respect to dealing with the problem, they will do it. And that's by and large what I mean.
Anything necessary?
Anything that's reasonable, legal, and lawful, they will do in order to have some impact on the problem that exists there, as it exists in other places within the city.
Okay, this is just won't be in Bankhead, all over.
Right.
Well, we are focusing on Bankhead Courts and have been focusing on Bankhead Courts. It's just that this matter has just recently come to the public front.
You said that the news media is maybe drawing attention to Bankhead Courts, maybe unfairly.
I did not say that.
Focusing attention, perhaps, but in the presence of the city leaders is what brought the news media out there to begin with, isn't it? I mean, if you focus your attention there, then we're going to focus our attention there as well, aren't we? So does that mean that perhaps these vigils should be in all the various...
Well, we were not talking about vigils. We were basically talking about the work of the police department. And the police department essentially has got its hands full with the drug problems that we see as a citywide problem. Indeed, we see the problem as a metro-wide problem because the people in Bankhead Courts or Carver Homes or East Lake Meadows don't have enough money to sustain the kind of drug traffic that's going on. The money's coming in from other places. And so we've urged the police department to focus not only on people who are selling drugs, but people who are coming in to purchase drugs. And we're dealing with it from both the supply side and the demand side. But we really need the support of the total community for our law enforcement effort. And basically what we've been saying is that we are going to work together with family and children's services, with the housing authority, with the school system, with the business community, and we are taking seriously, you know, just a few months ago it was Carver Homes, and a few months before that it was McDaniel Glen. But the problems are still there, and our police force is spread very thin, but working very hard to take on this battle, and we just want them to know that they have the full community support in the battle that they are attempting to wage.
Mr. Mayor, speaking of Carver Homes and McDaniel Glen, it seems that you're chasing a problem all over town. Will there be anything different this time to perhaps end it?
Well, this is a problem that we're going to keep on working on. that we haven't stopped in McDaniel Glen or Carver Homes because the news media has not been there. They're making arrests down there tonight. There are arrests made at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning when there's no press around, when there's no vigil there. And we want to commend our police force for the kind of aggressive action they are taking against drugs, and we want them to urge them to keep on and do more.
Did you have anybody from the Bankhead community in your meeting?
Oh, no, but they will be a
Well,
part
the
of it.
representative of the Bankhead community.
But you know, you heard me say at city council meeting that you can't solve a problem unless you talk to people in the community. They got to be involved. That's the next step. But the one message we want to send today, that collectively, that we are together and we are declaring war on drugs in this particular city, whether or not it be in Bankhead, East Lake Meadows, and what have you. And we're going to work extremely hard over the next 6 months to make sure that we come up with some solutions to some difficult problems in all these communities. So we're going to be working extremely hard to make sure they have our confidence, and whatever they need to get the job done, we're going to do it.
Will you be working in concert with any other law enforcement jurisdictions?
Well, you know, one of the things I said in the meeting, everybody got television, okay? And we're just going to be working with people through in law enforcement agencies. But we're not going to identify A, B, C, D, or what we're going to do. But we will be working in cooperation with other law enforcement agencies, and we'll be coming up with programs that is going to have an impact on these communities.
I talked to one of our officers in my zone at the Christmas party and asked what they were doing about drugs in my neighborhood. And he said that he personally had made more than 200 arrests in Zone 4 in the last year. There have been more than 5,000 drug-related arrests made. This is not just an occasional effort. This is a continued struggle, and we just want to give our support to the police in their efforts.
Mr. Mayor, will there be any armed escorts for these public service people, such as the mail, such as BARTA, that sort of thing? Is that necessary? Is that overreacting?
My daughter taught school out there in Bankhead Courts for a whole year almost a year last year, and never had a police escort, went to visit her families. They're peaceable, loving people in Bankhead Courts. The school in Bankhead Courts is one of the better schools in our system. And I just think that we've got to make sure that we're dealing with the drug problem there. And people who are bringing money like postmen, people who are fixing telephones, people who are driving buses.
Can you give them any assurances anything will change from what has happened over the past 2 weeks?
I can give them assurances that there has been a major police protection presence in that community that will remain.
Have you been to Bankhead Courts yourself?
I have not been into Bankhead Courts this week.
When's the last time you were there?
Well, I ride my bicycle out there all summer long. I don't live far from Bankhead Courts. I was at the corner, but I felt that my involvement essentially is to be with the law enforcement officers that are there every day in support of the school system, in support of family and children's services. I didn't think that my presence on the scene was necessary.
Could I ask Chief Redding to address the issue of attacking the demand side that the mayor suggested? Is that something, how feasible it is to do?
Well, as far as the demand side, we have many unions working throughout the city. And the message I would like to send out is that if you're dealing in drugs, or if you're buying drugs in the city of Atlanta, you're going to go to jail and you'll be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. We have many, many programs in operation. We're working with many, many other federal agencies. And from the law enforcement side, we certainly appreciate all the help and support that the mayor and city council people have given us. And I assure you that we will continue to very aggressively enforce the law in the city of Atlanta.
Chief, was it fair to say that this meeting was a vote of confidence for you? Were they suggesting changes? Because obviously there's pressure from the community, and yet you're still giving as much attention to the fact as you can. So is there a way of characterizing the meeting in terms of a change of attitude, or is it just they're backing you up in terms of what you've been doing?
I think it was a very productive meeting. I think the mayor and the city council have assured Chief Taylor, Major Steed, myself, and all the men and women Bureau of Police Services that they have confidence in us and they appreciate the job that we're doing, and that they asked us to continue to use all available resources and tackling the problem we got with drugs in this city.
Is there anything else they can give you that you need?
I think the main thing that they've given us tonight is support and confidence. And they have assured us that they will constantly be in contact with all communities throughout the city and to let the community realize that we're doing everything humanly possible to have an impact on this problem that we got.
Do they need to give you more personnel? Do you need more men and women out there?
I can't say that personnel is always the answer. I'd say this, is that we have the responsibility to be sure that we are properly managing the men and women we have in the Bureau of Police Services. Now, as far as personnel, we're constantly trying to fill the vacant positions that we have within the Bureau of Police Services. And I assure you that once we fill those, that we will be back together again to discuss personnel.
And we will give them more personnel. We gave them 200 positions last year. Whatever he needs to combat the issue of crime in this community, he would have our support.
Does that include the use of new weapons? We hear from the...
Whatever it takes to send the road, and we want them to hit the road, Jack, and don't come back. That's what we're going to do, whatever it takes.
I have encouraged the chief to take a look at semi-automatic weapons. In fact, we've done surveys and are making efforts to upgrade the weaponry. But we've also made efforts to upgrade the investigatory policies of the police. We need more money for drug buys. There's a total effort that has to be made there.
And I think this is about as good a point as any to end this. And if you want to talk to somebody individually, please do so.
I'd like to play one thing.
Thank you very much.
Bankhead is no better or worse than other public housing in the city of Atlanta. Now I walk Bankhead approximately 3 hours Monday. I spend quite a bit of time in the Bankhead area, going home, payroll. There's no difference. It's no being afraid to go to Bankhead. I think too much emphasis has been placed on Bankhead. So I think Bankhead has been somewhat of the underdog in this place, has been somewhat abused. I don't know, the political or whatnot, but Bankhead is no worse or better. And we intend to work with the problem the best we possibly can. But people are afraid because of the news media, what they're hearing and what they're printing, what they're saying on TV. It's no better or worse than other areas of the city.
Are you denying the fact that 3 separate public service companies have said that they are afraid to send?
I say it's been overblown, blown up. No one needs protection to go through Bankhead. A model bus driver do not need protection. I go through Bankhead, I walk Bankhead, I park my car, walk through area out there, and I talk with people.
So what do you say to the MARTA driver, and to the postman, and to the people from Southern Bell?
You would not get any more harassment or any more fear anywhere in this city you wouldn't Bankhead. You can go to any other, you can downtown, you got the same problem. So why focus on Bankhead, you know?
The fact of the matter is that none of these companies have refused to provide service for periods of time in any of those other areas.
I think it's overreaction. It's overreaction. I think we use some excuse not to provide services because you got Takewood, you got Carver Homes. I have never known a male character to be attacked in Bankhead before. It's more than what I believe it's more to this than what we think it is, you know. So if you go out to Bankhead and take care of your job and leave Bankhead, it's no problem. I think it's been blown out of focus and will continue to be until the news media. We really get the truth of the thing and print it and let people understand what's really happening in the Bankhead area. Because it's been overblown, out of proportion.
that down. Anything I have to say, I try to say openly and above board. And I don't have any other evidence.
Mayor, is there anything you feel you can do to try and ensure that other cases are not mishandled apparently in the same way that this one was apparently?
Well, let me say very clearly that there's no question that this was mishandled the way it was, essentially because of the high visibility of a number of people involved, especially me. And I am sure that the press would not even be interested in most of the kinds of information about neighborhood drug dealings, about that sort of thing that comes to our law enforcement community every day. And I would hope that our citizens would continue to bring information to our law enforcement community. We have invited them to bring it to the mayor's office, and I would see to it that it's investigated to protect them if they did not want their names known until such time as they were having to testify. But it's important that we have the total support of the community in fighting crime, and that's what I think is the objective of all of the investigations and all of the developments that come out of this situation.
Anything that you can do to try to help eliminate some of these tensions which you feel contributed to this?
Well, we've been doing that now for 6 years, and the tensions continue to exist, but they will continue to exist. That they're human tensions in any human situation, and some of those will be differences of opinion, some of those will be differences in background, some of those will be racial, but that's part of what we have to work with. But it's part of what keeps our city going so well, in that we can openly and willingly deal with all of these complications and still come out functioning together as an efficient and effective operating unit.
There's all the publicity that's